Welcome, everyone, to this broadcast of 3 Vegas. I'm here with clinical hypnotherapist Tami Roitman, master astrologer Kris, and my name is Mona Van Joseph. I do intuitive tarot. The way this program works is that you call in with a question. So we have guests that we've lined up to be on the program, and we have our fabulous guest Bonny today. So we'll be with her in just a minute. And what Bonny will do is she's going to ask a question. And then she's going to choose which one of us she wants to have answer the question first. Then she's going to choose who answers the question second. And then by default, the person who's third is the one left over. But sometimes they say we save the best for last. So there you go. I want to thank John with WWDBTV studios here in Las Vegas. And by the way, if you guys are ever looking to create a podcast and want to come to Vegas and actually do your podcast, you want to reach out to John Stiles here at WWDBTV. Also, subscribe to WWDBTV on YouTube, because not only is this wonderful program available to you, but lots of other wonderful Las Vegas-based programs right there on the channel. So we're going to be right back with Bonny.
Hi, I'm Kris, the Astro Cowgirl. You may have seen me on 3 Vegas, the mystical series featuring 3 intuitives. Tami Roitman, an intuitive hypnotherapist, myself, a master astrologer, and of course our host, Mystic Mona, a tarot consultant. Each of us taps into our own modality to bring you clarity and guidance. If you'd like to experience it for yourself, you can visit www.3.vegas to book a one-on-one session to connect with us individually, or even submit to be a guest on an upcoming episode. Again, that's www.three.vegas. You can also find me at Astrological.com, where I share insightful monthly forecasts. Thank you for joining us every week on WWDBTV.com for a new episode of 3 Vegas. And as always, a special thanks to John Stiles at WWDBTV for hosting our program. Many blessings, and I look forward to helping you unlock your cosmic potential.
Welcome back, everyone. Our guest today is Bonny. Hi, Bonny. Welcome to the program.
Hi, ladies. Great to be here.
Yay. We're so happy. Okay. So the way this is going to work is you're going to present your question, and then you're going to choose which one of us you'd like to have answer your question first. So Tami is our clinical intuitive hypnotherapist, our intuitive master astrologer, Kris, or me, Mona Van Joseph, your tarot consultant. So please present your question.
May I ask a question before I present my question? Is it okay to just give you like a tiny backstory before I ask the question?
Sure. Well, the more specific you are, the more helpful we can be. Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay. So I am in the process of cutting way back from a business that I've owned for over 40 years. And I started this in the mid 80s. Because I had moved from California to New York to become the next Carole King, and it hadn't happened. And I thought, I don't want to be waiting tables when I'm 40.
All right.
So I continued writing songs. I eventually moved to Nashville, where I met the love of my life. And I have allowed my music to guide my entire path. I am now a little older and ready to completely focus on my music. And I've had people say, oh, you're too old. You know, this is ridiculous. This is what I came here to do. I am a songwriter who has a message that I want to share. And I want to know, is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? And when is it going to happen?
Okay. Well, who would you like to have address your music career first?
I'm going to start with Tami.
It's a pleasure to be in service to you. When you got on, I saw probably one of the most free and flowing energies that we have actually worked with on this show. And I already picked up on the music, and that is a solid part of who and what you are, and why you're here. When it comes to hearing what you're saying about moving in that direction, what's coming to me is an absolute yes. And you may even want to start doing more young children's songs, because your job is to awaken people. And so your music does that. And because the young kids are coming in so awakened and aware right now, that's how you can kind of guide them. And I get the sense, or what I'm being told is that hasn't been a direction that you've thought of before, but you have no idea how your energy, because it's so free flowing, just like kids are, how powerful that will be to help them awaken and start taking their journeys, because they're not creating so many false identities like we had to do to awaken ourselves, to take our place in life and experience so many experiences that reminded us of different types of situations. You've already had all of that. Now you have to take those experiences that you've been through, and instead of them having to experience them, they don't. You can remind them through your music that they've already experienced that at some point in their existence. And so they don't have to physically experience it again. You can awaken them and remind them, hey, you've had this experience before. It's inside of you. Remember the knowledge, because you need that knowledge to do whatever you're going to be doing. And I think why kids, and I hear it, it's being yelled at me. Why children for you is because you have a lot of agreements with a lot of young kids, not young souls, but young kids that are coming on the planet. And they're depending on you to cross your path with your music to help them awaken. That's exactly, I mean, I get that so solidly.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
And when I say young, I mean young. I mean between, 3 and 10 young.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Bonnie, who's next?
You, Mona.
Okay, because I'm really glad you said me. Because while Tami was talking, I'm flashing on lots of things. I'm flashing on sherry and lamb chop. I'm flashing on Mr. Rogers. And that led me to you calling yourself Auntie Bonny or Bonnie's songs. And I'm getting goosebumps just telling you that.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah. The thing is that I gotta tell a story before I turn your cards over. I gotta just tell a little thing that flashed across. There are two stories. I'm sorry, I've just got to share them with you.
Once upon a time, I had a client come to me who had just lost her soul dog. And this dog was absolutely like pit bull. But the love and the guardianship between the two of them was just absolutely beautiful. Anyway, she'd lost her dog, and I said, and she was just full of sorrow because of this loss. And I said, well, that dog, that spirit never leaves you. That dog is always surrounded with you. I said, but you're making me think of a story. And this is the second story that's within this story, which is a story about Mr. Rogers. And Mr. Rogers was asked by a little boy one day, and you might have already heard this, Mr. Rogers, there's so many bad things in the world. There's so many bad things. How do we fix the bad things? Mr. Rogers got quiet for a second. I'm getting a little choked up telling you this. You look for the people that are helping. All right? That's what you concentrate on, is you concentrate on the people that are helping. And so while I'm telling you that story, I'm flashing on the vibration of there are little things that you can do. And this, again, this sounds so cheesy, but I'm going to say it. I'm wondering if Bonnie does the potty song. Because if you're concentrating on 2 and 3-year-olds, you could actually sing the potty song, and that mommies and daddies would sing the potty song with the kid. Do you see what I mean? To teach them how to use the potty, right? And teach them. Do you see where I'm going with this? And then there would still be fun songs like, the ants go marching, and
Row, row, row your boat. There would still be songs like that you would actually throw in a few classic songs. But the song that jumped in my head when Tami was talking was the unicorn song. Do you remember that?
I don't.
Green alligators and long neck beasts.
I
Some
think-
humpty-back camels.
Yeah,
and
I
some
think she's going to
chimpanzees.
write her own
Oh
songs.
no, I know, but it's a melody that jumped in like a folk song, but it's a song that's initially pointed to kids. Do you see what I mean? So I just had to tell you all of that before I turn the cards over. Okay, but I want you to look up the unicorn song, just because it's all about how the unicorns didn't make it to the ark, and that's why we have unicorns. And I'm really surprised you haven't heard this song. Really?
I haven't. Well,
Okay.
I don't have any kids, so, and I've never been that kid oriented. So it's interesting that that's what you are all saying.
Well, here's the thing: is that I'm agreeing, and I'm probably expecting a certain card to come up with you today, but when Tami said focusing on encouraging the little spirits coming into the world now, that really flashed with me. So I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm drawing your cards. Now that's funny because yesterday, notice that there's purple on the cards.
Yeah. I
Okay.
don't see it. I see black.
Well, you don't see it, but John will see it. It's because there's a little bit of green in the back of my cards, and they're all coming up as a purple. I know,
Not me.
but not you.
It must
Okay,
be
Bonnie,
my
I'm drawing
energy.
your cards. Hang on.
Thank you.
So the very first card is a card called Playfulness, and it's that's so funny. Look at the colors of my cards.
Yeah, they're really different today.
That you might not see these colors, but I'm totally seeing these colors. Maybe it's because of the background. Okay, the very first card is a card called Playfulness, and it literally means that you're concentrating on the happiness of the spirit to be here in the first place in this lifetime. It's a very, very big, it's a lovely card, but it's also a big card. It's the gratitude of being here. Now, when you say, I am going to lean into my music, the next card called the Outsider literally means a door flying wide open for you. So when you come up with this next little ditty that you do, and I am going to totally agree with Tami on the idea that it needs to be a song focused on a 3 to 5 year old. All right. Is that then you're going to post it on the internet, and you're going to start sending it to everybody. You're going to post it on Instagram. You're going to tag Oprah Winfrey. You're going to tag the Today Show, and you're going to say that you specialize in loving, supportive songs for all souls. All right. But especially this 3 to 5 year old vibration I'm getting. You have this card here that talks about when people meet you, they like you right away. It's like it's an energy that has served you well in your business because you have this wonderful ability to explain the whole truth to people without offending them or upsetting them. But you will tell them the whole truth. So you're not excuse my French, but you're not a pussy about that. You literally will tell them how you feel and what the story is. You're in a position right now where you either have to do it now or you won't do it. So, we always regret the things we don't do, not the things we do. And then all of your experience and love and energy from the past, there's two things that are going to happen. You're going to embrace what you love that you came into this lifetime to do. You're going to release any negative energy or any negative people that, like, if someone were to say to you, well, Bonnie, you're nuts. Why would you do that? They're not your friend. So you're going to take a big, giant step back from anyone that doesn't encourage you right now, because all they're doing is trying to distract you, and they're trying to tap into your own fear. Like if somebody that you loved and respected and you've known them for 50 years and they say, oh, Bonnie, just take your Social Security and relax, right? Well, that's not somebody that you want to have in your immediate energy right now, because all they're going to do is help you talk yourself out of it. So Do I think that you could be a total success? Absolutely. You have the number 5, and it's the only number repeating in your spread. So the 2 cards that resonate to the number 5 are this one. So there may be an inspired little song or ditty that you come up with before the end of May, and that you actually put it out there and it gets some attention. Now, I would also, on your Instagram profile, actually talk about all the years of being a songwriter, and that your goal is to touch people's souls. That's your goal. And so when you go into that vibration, and then people look at your picture and go, oh, well, she's not like 17 years old, which is what it seems like our whole society seems to be focusing on, is the 17-year-olds in the world, not the people that bring in years of loving experience and life lessons, which I actually truly think that you're going to do because of these children. So there you go.
Wow. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Now we're all going to collaborate at the end. And I know Tammy's dying to say something. So do you want to say it now, or do you want to wait till the end? Because I want to make sure Kris gets her turn. Okay. All right.
We'll always get her turn.
Okay. All right. Bonnie, first, before we get started, I just want to verify your time of birth.
I believe it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I believe it was 7:30 p.m. Pacific time.
How confident are you of that?
I mean, that's what I've always been told. Somewhere between 7 and 7:30 p.m. And my mother's gone, so I can't really.
Okay. And it's not on your birth certificate?
I haven't seen that in so many years. I really have no
Okay.
idea. But that's what I've always believed that.
Okay. The reason I ask is because I feel like it's slightly different. And when I say slightly,
Okay.
and for me, it would be a drastic, change. But for you, it might be 15 minutes, give or take, right? Not necessarily 7:30. It could be closer to 7:45 or
Could be.
7:15. But for me, when I look at your chart, I feel like it's a little off. And so usually that's like, you were born about 7:30 p.m. It's usually like a rounded. So where it lands in your chart, because so your birth time, birth location, and your date of birth is very specific to you. And so a few minutes can change what I see in your chart. And the reason I ask that is because I intuitively pick up stuff, but then it looks different in your chart. And so that usually tells me that the time might be off a little bit. So I'm going to go off. I'm going to go off intuitively, and then the things that I know that don't change in your chart. So
Okay.
so
you have my
first-
birth date, right?
I do.
You
Yeah.
have okay. Cool.
Everything else is good. It's just I questioned the time a little bit. So
You could be right on that. I don't know.
all right. So you are a Sun Leo and a rising Aquarius. Your rising Aquarius, that's what's based upon your time of birth. So have you known that before? Okay, perfect. All right. So I feel like it's close, but just slightly off. But anyways, the first thing I want to really talk about with you is that you are in the process of coming into this transformative period. And it is all about your identity and your life direction. So it could literally feel like kind of taking on this new life direction and or kind of starting this new chapter. And the placements that you have that fall into this new life chapter, it talks about you knowing exactly what you want, you being very focused, very determined that this is what you're supposed to do. And so it aligns perfectly with what you said about what you're wanting to do with your music. The reason I say that you're going through this transformative period is because we are currently going through the series of eclipses that are in Leo and Aquarius. And with your sun sign and your rising sign both being affected, this is very specific to you. And especially with Aquarius being your rising sign, this talks about specifically you taking on this new life direction, like this whole new chapter. It's almost like you get like a second chance at life. It's like you lived one lifetime and now you get to live this totally new lifetime. And the placements that fall that are being the placements that fall in that path that's being highlighted right now talk about you being just very determined and like knowing you have this purpose, and it's connected to the entertainment industry. I find that so fascinating. You have several placements that are connected to performance and entertainment. So that when I see that, that's usually definitely like music, but performing music. So are you by chance interested in actually performing it?
You know, originally I was. At this point, I'm more interested in placing my songs in films or TV, which I have had in the past, and or with artists who sing. I mean, I may get out there, but at this stage in my life, that's not really my focus.
Okay, so that's perfectly okay, because I was actually going to say the other thing with the performance is actually entertainment is acting. So it would make perfect sense that it would be like maybe in films or something. So I could see you, when they do movies, the artist will write a song specific to that movie, and then that song becomes wildly famous, and it started in that movie. That I feel that so strongly with you. Also, there's a lot of partnerships, relationships are heavily tied to like your identity. So you get a lot of like interactions and the support and what you get out of relationships is really important to your identity. And so helping other people, being focused on other people, focus on the relationships is really a big theme in your life. I want to go over some kind of pros and cons to that. Okay. The pro is that you're incredibly loyal, generous, very focused on being a good partner and being supportive. It also falls in your line of work or your house of work and service, which means that you probably are at service to people, or you like being very helpful and serving other people in some capacity. But sometimes it's not always, relationships can be challenging, and you might experience maybe power struggles or somebody trying to dominate, or there could be some issues of like maybe abuse or something like that. That's the con. Doesn't always manifest like that, but it's definitely connected. At the very least, relationships can be highly transformative for you. And another thing, there's some question here about your birth time, but intuitively, I feel you can transform yourself over and over again, like reinvent yourself. And it's actually specific to the kind of work that you do. Like, so you can like reinvent the kind of work that you do. And again, you have all these placements. It's highly connected to the entertainment industry. So, do you have anything specific that you want me to answer? Because I really could kind of really dive into this.
What is the best way for me to support the manifestation of my songs really getting lots of placements, either with artists or TV or film?
Love that question. Let me do something real quick here. Okay. It's actually through, you're going to find you get the most support and like good karma coming back to you that helps you make your way and really supports your goals and your dreams through helping other people. If there's any kind of networks or associations that you can join, and they would be like you volunteering, like maybe your knowledge, the things that you've learned over the years with your business and being involved in, maybe it's working with younger artists or like upcoming artists and helping them like perfect their skills. So when you're serving others and volunteering and being very, I would say there's a like humanitarian, but very kind, and but joining networks or associations or offering your time and your wisdom through everything you've learned through your career and your business. That is a talent.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
My writing partner and I are starting to collaborate with young artists. And
There you go.
it's not a volunteer organization, but I'm really loving working with this one young woman who really gets who we are and appreciates what we bring to the table, and we acknowledge what she's bringing to the table. And it's been a very new but wonderful experience. So I can see myself doing that as far as, I don't know about organizations, but working with younger people and bringing what we have to give and sharing.
Yes. And so when I say volunteer, it doesn't necessarily have to be volunteer. It could be just, hey, I'm not really doing this for the money as much as I love doing this, and I'm sharing my wisdom and my experience. And there's also too, I mean, it could be mentoring. So maybe you take on like more of kind of like a mentor role with these emerging artists.
Happy to.
Okay, so
Thank you.
this is where Tami gets to jump back in because she can't wait to tell you something. So she's going to do that.
Well, I have two things that kind of came up. One is the purpose you don't have kids is because being a parent keeps a tie on to sometimes aggravations and frustrations when our kids aren't doing what we see is a better direction because they have their own journeys. And you needed your energy to be so open and not attached in that way to hit younger kids. The other thing is that don't be surprised if a young kid, younger, like much younger, somehow crosses your path and you start writing music for them.
Okay. I've got to just say one thing, ladies. I'm blown away that you guys are talking about kids, because what I feel that my partner and I are doing and what our catalog is about is supporting people to go for their dreams. But we never dreamt that we were focusing on kids. It was more adults who would listen to the music, and we always have a positive spin on everything. Like, you go through a difficult time, but if you look at the focus this way, you can really get so much out of even difficult times. But it was never focused for children. So I'm sort of like, whoa, I never really thought about that.
I think that's what I was feeling as far as like the emerging artists, like the up and coming or the young and the mentoring. I think that's huge. And I also just got something when you said that Romans 8:18. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's basically seeing the silver linings through our challenges and using that to transform it into purpose. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in the mentoring space, that's exactly you being involved in some types of groups or something where you're offering that kind of insight and that wisdom.
Thank you.
Okay, I got to say one more thing. So there was a client of mine years ago that was a kindergarten teacher. Right. And when I did a reading for her, my very first words out of my mouth to her was, after she told me she was a kindergarten teacher, I said, "Oh, you get to deal with kids and you still have a chance with them." Because when kids get to kindergarten and they're getting into a little bit more structured learning, right? What happens is that most of the kids get excited about learning what they don't know. And so for you to bring that excitement of spirit is always aligned with them in some way, that they're more ready to accept it because they're in that vibe of learning all the time. You know, it's interesting because you and I are of an era where there was no cell phones, there was no internet, there was no answering machines. It's like we know how to use a rotary phone, right? We can sing all the Beatles songs, right? All
Yes.
of those things, right? The thing is that when these spirits are coming into the life today, they have access to instant information, and a lot of it is information they're not really quote supposed to have access to. And I'm wondering if you act as that spiritual shield in some way through your music. But yeah, I really think that if you don't do it now, you won't do it. And that's why I'm totally on board with the idea of it's now. It's you're already doing it now. So
And actually, I think I see too with these eclipses and how they're affecting you within the next 18 months, your day-to-day life, like your life direction, what you're doing will be completely different than what you've have been doing. So it will be fully integrated, and you will be like living your next lifetime.
okay, so I flashed on something funny just now. I gotta say it. I wonder if you did the Starbucks song about all the different kind of coffees you can order on Starbucks. It's like it just jumped in my head, probably because Kris is drinking a Starbucks right now. But I'm wondering if you could actually do some sort of like fast-paced song that's all about the different ways you can order coffee. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, enough of that. John is telling us that it's time to wrap it up. And I want to tell you that you have been a delightful guest on our program today, and really appreciate that you reached out to be on the program. And I want to thank Tami, our intuitive clinical hypnotherapist, Kris, our master astrologer, John with WWDBTV for making this program happen, and especially you, Bonny, for being a part of our program. All right.
Thank you very much.
Wish you well, and we look forward to talking to you and hearing about what you do moving forward.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Bye, Bonny.
Bye.
The cast members of 3 are not professional attorneys, CPAs, psychologists, marriage counselors, physicians, or financial advisors. You are provided with opinions that are unique to each of the intuitive performers. 3 is presented to you for your entertainment.